original Portal was a smash hit, gaining lots of support and a huge amount of fans. Though it was only about a 5 to 6 hour campaign, a full sequel was planned. But finally here, let's see how it actually played out.
It's been a long time. How have you been? I think we can put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
Portal 2 is the sequel to Portal 1. You're reprising your role as one of the Aperture Science test subjects. And even though you killed GLaDOS in the first game, you fell back into a sleep cycle, waking up years later to find out that the facility has pretty much gone to hell. I mean, it has seen much, much better days. As you wake up, you meet one of your first characters, Wheatley, voiced brilliantly by Stephen Merchant. This is possibly one of the funniest characters I've seen in video games in a long time. The voice work in this game is fantastic. But as you wake up, you then accidentally reactivate GLaDOS, who then puts you through a series of portals and tests all over again. Though I won't spoil any of the surprises, the facility does change from time to time, and seeing the facility run down and actually trying to rebuild itself as GLaDOS frantically puts together the different areas is a really kind of nice touch and really interesting. I won't spoil any of the story plots because there actually are a good amount of them, and it's quite interesting how they built the story around such a basic game from the first one. The idea of the cake is a lie, though, is sadly gone. I'm sorry, Portal original fans and cake fans alike. I do apologize. But regardless, we are back into the whole routine of things. You solve puzzles, move on to the next area, and so on and so on. Occasionally, this will be bumped up by new things like launch pads or different kinds of gels, such as propulsion gel and stuff like that, which will either make you go fast. You can put portals anywhere on certain ones. It all is color coordinated. It's very interesting how they slowly ease you into each one before adding a new one, and that's very nice, especially for non-hardcore gamers. The puzzles, though, near the end get very challenging, which is really nice, testing you to try to think outside the box. Though there's normally only one way to solve most of the puzzles, which I really wish there wasn't. In the end, it's very satisfying knowing you solved that puzzle, only to open the door to a more complicated puzzle. The voice work all around is absolutely fantastic. J.K. Simmons absolutely steals the role as Cave Johnson. He has possibly some of the funniest lines in video game history.
How do we get so many bullets in them? Like this. Plus, we fire the whole bullet. That's 65% more bullet per bullet. This is the same technology we've been using on robots for decades. Scares the hell out of them.
GLaDOS, once again, of course, is reprised by her role, and she is absolutely fantastic. Though not a center point as you would think. She does become a main focal point. She's not the center point throughout the entire game, which is actually a really interesting change, and I really like that. Graphics are pretty good, honestly, and I hate to say it, the Source engine is very out to date. With graphics coming out now in games like Battlefield and Assassin's Creed and Bioshock, the graphics are, while the lighting is good, they could be a lot better. I think it's honestly time to move to a new Source engine, or just a new engine in general, because it's not really cutting it anymore. Soundtrack is fantastic, mixing a blend of techno and orchestral. It's very interesting how they change, especially when the music starts pumping and you're really starting to get that puzzle solved. Dialogue is well written. Overall, I really do enjoy this game. I really recommend it to anyone. There is a co-op factor, which I really do recommend playing with a friend with a mic. Though there are some very helpful hints allowing you to point in directions where you need to go. The co-op feature is much more better with a friend, and especially if you have a mic, especially when you're trying to really do complicated puzzles that require intricate and precise teamwork at the exact same time. It's very satisfying to play with friends. The co-op, I wish, was extended a bit longer. The campaign, and it will last you, depending on how long it takes you to solve the puzzles, anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, with an extra maybe 5 hours added on the co-op. So you're looking at a good rounded game. But the problem with this game is once you beat it, you may want to go through again for the story or for achievements. Same thing with the co-op. But once you beat it, there's no replay factor. There's no new puzzle or gold medals or anything like they did in the original Portal, which is really disappointing because I really do love this game, but don't find a reason to go back to this game. Overall, Portal is a solid game. It's possibly one of Valve's best games that's come out in a long time, usurping, it's getting close to like Half-Life Legendary, though not anywhere like on the scale of it. It's getting very close. Portal 2 is definitely have some of the funniest dialogue written in video game history. I recommend it to anybody who's a puzzle fan or looking for something a little more casual that isn't Call of Duty or Halo. Portal 2 gets a 9 out of 10.
So you can protect the things that matter most.
Good night.
Just try and get close to that baby. Your funeral. Cave Johnson, we're done here.